power run amok. So I will yield, Mr. Speaker, to the gentlelady from New Hampshire, Ms. Goodlander.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and many thanks to my colleague from Pennsylvania for bringing us together this afternoon. Economic patriotism. We're coming from all across the country. We're coming from different backgrounds with different ideas, but we're united by things that are really powerful. We're united by a love of our country, by a belief in our country, by a belief fundamentally in the American people. You know, I was born and raised in the greatest state in the nation, the state of New Hampshire, the state that made the nation. We were the 9th to ratify the Constitution. And I was born and raised down the road from the family farm that my great-grandfather built when he came to this country. He was 16 years old. He didn't speak a word of English, but he believed in the American dream, and he raised my grandfather, Sam, on that farm. He was an economic patriot, my grandfather, Sam. He really believed your word is your bond. He believed that hustle was the name of the game. He milked cows, he baled hay, and he got his start as a businessman selling airplane rides at the Nashua airport. His slogan was $1 million thrill for a $1 bill. He went on to become a door-to-door salesman for Electrolux vacuum cleaners. He worked hard because he believed in the American dream. He was a lifelong Republican who loved with his whole heart one of our great presidents, I think maybe the greatest economic patriot we've seen in the White House, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And I was reminded today of a great speech that President Roosevelt gave 81 years ago, the Economic Bill of Rights, it's been called. He talked about economic rights that are self-evident, but as with all self-evident rights that we know in this great document, our Constitution, they aren't self-executing. I want to focus for a moment on one of the rights that President Roosevelt talked about. He said that there's a right of every businessman, businesswoman too, large and small, to trade in an atmosphere of freedom from unfair competition and domination by monopolies at home or abroad. Monopolies, it's been said on the floor of this House, on the floor of the United States Senate, that monopolies are inconsistent with our form of government. And it's true. The anti-monopoly spirit is as old as America. It's rooted in a simple idea that power has got to be checked. Just like political power, economic power has got to be checked too. But the fact is, big corporations, monopolies have too much power in America today. I see it everywhere I go. I come to Congress having worked in the Department of Justice in the Antitrust Division, and it's a division full of patriotic men and women, many of them nonpartisan, who come to this work with the basic belief in this country and in the power that must be checked by government. So what do we mean? What kind of power are we checking? Every day on this job, as I've traveled around the state of New Hampshire, I hear about big agricultural corporations that are screwing family farmers, like the family farm I grew up down the road from. Big health insurers who are charging you more for less. Big health insurers who are rolling up the entire industry, from providers to hospital beds to the prescription drugs that people rely on for their lives. Big tech companies that are using your data, your valuable data, for their own gain. The list goes on. As we look across our consolidated economy, we see that corporate power has reached its apex in industries big and small, from door locks to the defense industrial base. We've always found common ground in this country around the basic idea that just like political power's got to be checked, economic power's got to be checked too. And I'm so grateful to my colleague from Pennsylvania for bringing us together today. What I'd say is our antitrust laws are alive and well, but they could use an update. And I look forward to working with everyone here today and in the days ahead to make that dream a reality, because it's core to the American dream. So with that, I yield back to my